Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Christina and today I wanted to share with you how I go about planning for the upcoming year. So welcome. If you are new, hi. I am a homeschooling mama to two. We are in our 5th year homeschooling and we are now in the new year. So happy new year. I hope all of you watching had a wonderful holiday season. So today I just wanted to go over the process that I kind of take myself through when I'm planning for the upcoming year. So we're currently in January of now 2025, and around this time I'm already in the thick of it thinking of what we'll possibly do for that upcoming homeschool year. This is the time that I'm, really hunkering down and figuring out what exactly we want to do. So I kind of wanted to go over that process. Hopefully this will be helpful to someone, and I will throw in some newbie tips if you are brand new to homeschooling. Some of these things won't apply to you if you're just starting out, but I'll also give tips of what I did in the beginning and what was helpful for us. So the first thing I do is generally in the fall, I'm starting to think about some things. I am assessing our current materials, looking at what we are using and seeing if it's working for us, seeing how it's working for my kids, and just really going down those kind of checklists to make sure that is it possible that a change would be helpful in this situation? Is there something that we're really happy with that we want to stick with? All of that comes into play around the fall season. And then the next thing I want to do is see what I have. So shopping your own shelves, I think, is an important habit to have. Sometimes we can accumulate things. Sometimes we buy things that are not going to work for us in that moment, so then we put them up. But we really have to kind of circle back and look through all those materials, make sure that they aren't things that we could really utilize in our homeschool currently or in the upcoming season. So that's something that I really take the time to do, is look through the materials that I have and how can I use this? Will this be helpful? Is this something that I can carry over in this upcoming year? And then the next thing I actually just did in the beginning of the last year, so in 2023, is I made a long-term curriculum plan. So this is long-term. This goes all the way to they graduate 12th grade. For my eldest, 6th grade to 12th. And then for my youngest, I started 3rd grade to 12th. So this is 2 pages. It's a really tiny font because of how I printed it. I printed all of the years together, but it's just a helpful visual to kind of see exactly what I had planned, what my idea was, what my goals were. So I highly recommend doing this. If you plan to homeschool all the way through, I think this is a fantastic thing to do to kind of set you up. Now, the fact that I have done this has made planning for this upcoming school year super simple. It is a lot easier than it was before. Before I was jotting down a lot of notes, making sure I had it clear in my head as to exactly what I wanted to do. But having this visual on the computer that I can kind of tweak, add to, take away from, has been super helpful. So my suggestion for doing a long-term plan is to figure out exactly what subjects you want to teach in your homeschool. And it doesn't mean you're literally teaching them. I mean, you can outsource these things, but the things that you want your kids to learn, I would do a brain dump of all of the subjects that you want to teach in your homeschool, and then make sure that they are aligning with whatever you need to do in your state. So check places like hslda.org or your local education department for your state, and make sure that everything required for your child is being done in your homeschool. You want to make sure that you're compliant with that. So add those subjects to your list. So some of the subjects I have on mine are grammar, vocabulary, spelling, writing, reading, math, history, geography, science, foreign language, Bible, apologetics, logic, typing, civics, health, art, music. I do have some possible unit study companies that I'm interested in here, and then extras. So the extras are usually going to be like notes of what I want to do family style that year. So that won't always be in the long-term plan, but I'll put those notes down here. So anything highlighted are things that I don't have. So I've shot my shelves to see what it is that I have, and I have added those. So I kind of already have a plan for those particular subjects from now all the way to 12th grade. So this has been wonderful. I've tweaked a lot since I originally created this spreadsheet. And I just did this on Google Sheets, you know, just filled it out. I mean, it took, I don't know, a weekend afternoon, but has been so beneficial. I can see my long-term plan, and it really just gives me a visual of my goals, of the things we want to accomplish in our homeschool, the things we want to touch on, the things we want to learn. So having this all planned out has been super helpful for me this particular year. So I highly recommend doing that if you know that you're in it for the long haul, and you just want to have kind of a baseline plan to help you along your time homeschooling. So I get that done. And then around the fall season, there are some companies that I particularly enjoy, our family enjoys. So the reason I start kind of thinking about these things in the fall is because I will be making purchases around the holiday season when they do some of these sales. So I want to make sure that I'm getting some of those materials for the upcoming year around this time. So this is why I start thinking this way and evaluating our homeschool currently to see where we're at. So if you follow my channel, you know that I've already posted a Master Books haul. These are some things that we were thinking of using for this upcoming year. I will have some other hauls coming up here soon that I'll be sharing as well. So if that's something you're into, that you like watching, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss those. Now we're in the winter season, right? We're in the new year, and so this is when I'm researching. This is kind of the research stage where I am looking at things. So some of these things that maybe I haven't purchased that I've highlighted, I'm looking into those. I'm researching some ideas that I might have. If I have more than one idea, I'm unsure, right? These are possible changes in our homeschool. I'm taking the time during the winter season to research, to do, watch, YouTube videos, to look at blogs, to look at other people's reviews, ask people that I know that are homeschool if they have used these materials and how they feel about it. Just taking that time and due diligence to make sure that those decisions are going to be right for us. Now, this happens, when you make a change and it ends up not working out. That's okay. But still take that time to look into what other people say, look into the books, if you can find flip-throughs and things like that, because it is really helpful, and it can make you feel better about your decisions. And during this time, you want to be praying over these decisions, laying them at His feet, and making sure that you're staying in prayer about it. I have found myself, if I get too much in my head or if I'm not praying over decisions that I need to make in my homeschool, I get overwhelmed and I get anxious. And I start going down rabbit holes that I don't need to be going down. That's why it's good to have a vision and an idea of what you want your homeschool to look like, because if you get steered away and you're not staying in prayer about it, you definitely can get lost in all the options and all the noise that is online when you are researching. So definitely try to stay focused, stay in prayer, and He will guide you to whatever decision it is you need to make for your homeschool. And that leads us to finalizing decisions. So once we get to that place of, okay, I know this is what I want to do, you are finalizing those decisions. I usually make a list and write that down as to, okay, we're definitely doing this for language arts. We're all in for this on math. I'm making a list for each kid. I'm writing down what their curriculum lineup is going to look like for that upcoming year. So come the spring months, that leads me to curriculum planning. Making that, once those finalized decisions, making those last minute purchases. And that's when I kind of start planning schedules, looking at different things like that. Because come summer, I want to relax. I have found that in my homeschool years, I really need to kind of have this plan laid out for me so that I'm not on homeschool overload. So I don't get burnout thinking about homeschool all the time. Because in the first couple years that we homeschooled, that was definitely a thing. I didn't have these processes kind of laid out. So I felt myself always thinking about homeschool curriculum, overloading on homeschool content, and it can be overwhelming and it can take a toll on you. So having this kind of plan through the seasons has been super helpful, because once I get to summer, I want to focus my attention, one, on resting and just, enjoying the summer with my kids, but also taking that time during the summer to, go through the curriculum and make those curriculum plans of like what we're going to do once the year starts. Cleaning out the homeschool space, decluttering. Those are the things that I want to be doing in the summer. I don't want to be thinking about, all the logistics. I want that stuff to be done. So that is kind of what I do in the spring, is kind of preparing things, preparing myself as teacher. And then in the summer, it's just more about looking at the curriculum and being aware of what it is we're going to be touching on that year. This summer, I also have a notebook. This is kind of my dump notebook. This is just what I write notes in throughout the year, right? So if I'm listening to something and I learn about a new resource that I'm like, oh yes, I really want to look into this. This is definitely something I want to put into my long-term plan. I jot that down. So then when I'm in here, if I've decided that yes, this is going to be something I'm going to incorporate, I will add it into the long-term plan wherever it may lie. Like, I definitely come across different high school resources here and there that I'm like, yes, this is something I want to implement. So I've added it to our long-term plan. So I highly suggest having just somewhere that you can dump ideas, that you keep kind of an ongoing list of things you want to do, or maybe books you want to read. This just notebook has been super helpful for that. I know where it is. I could just jot it down. It gets it out of my head, so it's not like getting lost or causing me to like think about it too much. Once I get it down on paper, I generally can be, you know, I don't have to think about it. So that is very helpful to have a dump notebook of things like that, resources, curriculum, all the things that you want to do. Maybe books that mama wants to read that you want to continue teaching yourself and learning, you know. That is also super helpful to just have a notebook to keep all those ideas. Now, some newbie tips. If you are new to homeschooling and you're looking at all the options and, you know, you're just trying to figure out what it is you want to do, say you're starting to homeschool this upcoming homeschool year. My suggestion is to find a company that interests you, that you enjoy, that you like their values, their teaching philosophy, whatever it is. I suggest going all in for that company, for that child, for that first year. That is something we did. I just picked a company that the Lord led me to, and I went all in. And I'm so grateful that I did that, because it helped me feel out the process of facilitating a homeschool, what it's like to teach a homeschool, figuring out what mom likes to teach, different ways that I enjoy teaching, how I can best utilize curriculum, how my children like to learn. It really taught me a lot of different things in that first year that allowed me to make the proper changes as the years went on. So lots of people like to pick and choose different curriculums. I enjoy picking and choosing different curriculums, but I don't think that I could do it as confidently if I had been all over the place that first year. So it was really helpful to just kind of minimize that process for myself and just go with a company that I felt comfortable using and going with that. So that's my tip for anybody new to homeschooling that is planning for the upcoming year and looking at different resources. Once you get past that first year, you're gonna know, hey, this language arts didn't work. Okay, now I can start researching. This math just was not a good fit for me as a teacher. Now I can start researching. You'll really have a better grasp and idea of how curriculums are even taught in a homeschool setting. So I highly suggest doing that. Now that's just a suggestion. You can do whatever it is you feel led to do, but it was definitely a blessing in our first year, and it made such a simple transition for us. So that is how I plan for the upcoming year and pick out curriculum, the process I go through throughout the year. And hopefully that was helpful. I wanted to go ahead and share that because I know a lot of us mamas are kind of in that place right now of trying to figure out what we want to do next year. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one, guys. God bless.